So, you're sitting on the edge of the bed in the quiet of the morning,
Right.
and you tell yourself exactly 5 minutes from now, I will stand up.
Just 5 more minutes.
Yeah, like I will put on my shoes and I'll do the task I promised myself I would do. You feel a very clear intent in that moment.
The plan is completely perfect in your mind.
It is. The plan is perfect. And then, well, those 5 minutes quietly pass.
They always do.
The shoes just stay on the floor.
Yeah.
The task is forgotten. 5 minutes simply becomes never.
Yeah.
And it is a genuine wonder to me. Like, why does a simple, clear intention instantly create a dozen loud excuses in our minds?
There is a deep, calm recognition in that exact moment for so many people. We watch this happen all the time. When you sit there and the time passes, a low hum of guilt starts to build in the chest.
Oh, totally. A heavy guilt.
Exactly. Many of us feel this silent weight. We secretly believe it is a deep flaw in who we are.
Right, like we are broken.
Yes. People often assume they just lack discipline, or that they are simply flawed because they cannot follow through on their own basic promises to themselves.
It feels awful.
It is intensely isolating. We look around, fueled by a heavy comparison culture, and we just assume everyone else has it figured out.
Like everyone else just wakes up and gets right to it.
Right. We assume everyone else just wakes up and moves. But this silent struggle is, deeply common.
I really want to challenge this idea that it is not a flaw, though. Because, when you are sitting there trapped by your own thoughts, you feel like you are just lazy.
It feels very personal.
It feels like a silent plague. I know that roughly 15 to 20% of adults constantly put things off, feeling this exact same guilt, like day after day.
Yeah, many people carry that exact same feeling.
It just feels like a failure of character. If I actually want to get out of bed, why does my brain suddenly veto my own choice just moments later? Like, who is actually in charge in that moment?
Well, society tells us that it is a lack of drive, but it has very little to do with discipline.
Wait, really?
Really. It has almost everything to do with timing.
Timing?
Yes, there is a tiny unseen window. It lasts for about 5 seconds.
Just 5 seconds.
Just 5.
Oh.
It is the brief gap between the moment you feel the impulse to act and the exact moment your mind builds a heavy wall around that impulse.
Oh, wow. A wall.
And the mind does not build that wall because you are lazy. It builds it to protect you.
Protect me from getting out of bed.
To protect you from things like fear of failure, the weight of parental expectations, judgment from peers, or, just the harsh feeling of doing hard work.
So it thinks it is helping.
Exactly. The mind is a guard, not an enemy.
Okay, wait. If it is not a lack of discipline, then I am very confused about the timeline here.
Go ahead.
Because if my brain is protecting me, what is actually happening in those 5 short seconds that makes us pull back so hard?
That is the core question.
Like, how does the mind flip so fast from let's do this to let's stay in bed? It feels like a betrayal.
We have to look at the physical handoff that happens in your mind in real time.
A handoff?
Yes. When a fresh impulse arises, like, say, the thought to speak up in a meeting or to get out of bed or to start a hard project.
Right.
The planning and choice-making part of your mind is fully in charge at that exact moment. You can think of it as the builder.
The builder, okay.
It is active, forward-looking, and ready to move. But that ready state only lasts for roughly 5 seconds.
And then what happens?
If you wait longer than that, an older, primitive part of the brain steps in.
Oh, the guard.
Yes, the second mental loop is the guard. It is built purely for comfort. It is built to keep you safe from danger.
So it sees the hesitation.
Right. When it sees you hesitating, it assumes there must be a real threat, and it floods your system with heavy hesitation to stop you from moving forward.
To stop you from taking what it sees as a risk.
Precisely.
I am picturing this like a closing glass door in a sci-fi movie.
That is a perfect way to view it.
The red alarms are flashing, the heavy steel door is sliding down to seal the room.
Right.
And you have to slide under it before it completely shuts you out. Because once it is closed, you are just locked in.
You are trapped in the comfort zone.
But does this mean our own minds are actively working against the very goals we set for ourselves? Like, are we fighting our own biology every time we try to grow?
Your mind is simply doing what it evolved to do over thousands of years. It was shaped to protect you from risk and danger in a wild world.
Okay, but sending an email isn't a wild danger.
Exactly. The problem is, the ancient mind cannot easily tell the difference between a real physical threat and the slight fear of sending an awkward message to a friend.
Or the fear of looking silly when trying a new skill.
Yes. Every single time you avoid something hard, your mind quietly logs that avoidance as the safer choice.
Oh, wow. So it remembers.
It does. It tells itself, we survived because we stayed quiet.
Right.
So the next time you try to act, the hesitation feels even more natural. It becomes a deeply wired habit of pulling away from discomfort.
It is building a wall of comfort that actually traps you inside.
Exactly that.
I mean, it feels safe in the moment, but over time, it shrinks your whole world down to the size of your excuses.
And we start to see ourselves as people who hide.
And that is the most dangerous part, isn't it? Our identity shifts. Like we label ourselves as lazy when really we just lost a 5-second battle.
That is exactly what happens. The stories we tell ourselves about who we are become the walls of our lives.
Yeah.
And because the protective mind works so fast to build those walls, we cannot rely on vague ideas to break through them.
Yeah.
We need a tool that moves faster than the excuse.
Okay, so what is the tool?
This brings us to a simple, physical action. When you feel the impulse to act, you silently count backward in your head.
Like count down.
Yes.
All right.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then on 1, you physically move.
Just move.
You stand up, you reach for the phone, you open the door, you break the physical freeze.
I have to challenge this, though.
Please do.
Because if I can effortlessly hit the snooze button on a blaring alarm clock right next to my head, what stops my brain from just ignoring a silent countdown in my own mind?
That is a very fair point.
Does the countdown not just become, another thing that I delay? What is so special about those 5 numbers? Why not just say, do it now?
That is a very sharp question, because vague commands like just do it or get up now give the active mind nothing solid to hold on to.
Right.
They rely purely on your daily supply of willpower. And we often treat willpower like it is an endless trait, but it is not.
It drains over the day.
Yes, it drains with stress, it drains with lack of sleep, and it drains with simple daily choices. When you are tired, willpower is the very first thing to fail.
So that is why we hit the snooze button.
Exactly. You hit the snooze button because hitting snooze requires zero active focus. It is an automatic reflex.
Oh, I see.
Counting backward, however, is an action that demands your active focus.
So the countdown isn't about using willpower at all. It is like a bypass.
Precisely. You are finding a way around tired willpower. The physical act of counting backward interrupts the normal, ancient thought loop.
Because it takes mental effort.
Yes. You cannot easily count backward from 5 to 1 and panic or make excuses at the exact same time.
Wow, yeah. The brain can't do both.
It demands just enough mental focus to stop the hesitation from loading. It acts like a starting gun before your mind's excuse engine even finishes booting up.
That is amazing.
And pairing the count with an immediate physical movement, even just standing up, locks the new pattern in place.
You are taking back control from the primitive mind before it can lock the blast door.
You beat the door.
So what you are saying is that it jolts the brain out of autopilot. I mean, we all know in our minds that waiting for motivation is a trap.
Oh, a massive trap.
We have heard it a million times in our lives. But this countdown hack actually exploits a loophole in our biology to bypass that trap.
That is a great way to phrase it.
But since this works to bypass our tired minds, how does this actually show up in the quiet, ordinary moments of our daily lives?
Right.
Because, we aren't all jumping out of airplanes every day. We are just trying to get through the afternoon without feeling crushed by the things we didn't do.
People often think growth happens in massive, sweeping life changes. But this tool is most powerful for the small, daily avoidances that pile up over time.
The little things.
Yes. It is the unspoken thought in a group chat, the personal boundary we fail to set with a friend, or the hard email we put off for a week.
The tiny moments.
These tiny moments of friction form the real shape of our lives. When we let the blast door close on these small things, the heavy feeling of guilt shapes our entire mindset.
Let's bring this to life with real people, because the friction is where this gets very real.
Okay.
Think about Sarah. She is 31, working in marketing, and she wanted to try for a new role at her company.
A great step to take.
But she delayed applying for 2 straight years.
2 years.
Yeah, 2 whole years. And it wasn't because she lacked ambition. She was paralyzed by the work history drop-down menu on the form.
Just a drop-down menu.
Exactly. Every time she looked at that screen, the doubt would rise. She would feel the imposter feeling creeping in, wondering if she was truly good enough.
The mind starts to spin.
Right. She would tell herself she just needed to update her resume next weekend when she had more clarity. And of course, next weekend becomes never.
A feeling so many people know far too well. We see this with so many capable people. It is like watching yourself miss your own future in slow motion. all because of a drop-down menu.
It is heartbreaking.
It is. The mind turns a simple task into a massive threat of rejection. The fear of being judged by others takes over the quiet space in the mind.
And the easiest way to find peace is simply to close the laptop and walk away.
Yes, the mind chooses avoidance.
But then she finally tries the countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And she doesn't fill out the whole form. She uses the 5 seconds just to click upload resume.
Just that one click.
That single click bypassed her 2-year mental blockade. She got the role months later, but the real victory was just that one click.
It broke the cycle.
It bypassed 2 years of overthinking. And then, well, there's Michael,
Okay.
a man running a small outdoor care business. He spent an entire year avoiding a very hard money talk with his business partner.
A whole year carrying that stress?
Yeah. The bad timing, the busy weeks, always a fresh excuse ready to go. But the real friction was just the dial tone, like the fear of the phone ringing.
And that kind of delay creates a heavy, dull weight in the chest that never really leaves you alone. It drains your daily clarity.
You wake up thinking about it.
You wake up thinking about the phone call, and you go to sleep feeling guilty that you did not make it. The longer you wait, the heavier the phone feels.
It becomes a boulder.
It is the self-doubt under pressure that many of us try to avoid by simply staying silent.
Right. And Michael finally just counts down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He hits the call button before his brain can say no.
You took the step.
But here's the thing. The fear did not magically vanish for Sarah or for Michael.
No, it rarely does.
They still felt the dread, they still felt the anxiety, but they acted anyway. I love that because we always wait to feel a certain way.
I do.
We think to ourselves, well, when I feel confident, I will make the call. But the confidence never comes while you are just sitting on the couch.
That is so true. Confidence is the reward for taking action, not the starting line.
The reward for action.
That is the core truth here. Action precedes motivation. We tell ourselves that once the fear goes away, then we will take the step. We wait to feel calm.
But the goal was never to erase the fear.
Right. The goal of counting down was never to erase the fear of judgment or the crushing self-doubt we feel under pressure. The goal is simply to act alongside it.
To act alongside the fear.
You stop waiting for the perfect moment and you just step forward into the mess. Every time you count down and act, you prove to yourself that the wall of fear is much thinner than you believed.
That is powerful.
This slow, gentle self-discovery builds a deep sense of resilience over time.
So the fear stays the exact same size, but our capacity to move simply expands around it.
Exactly.
You don't become fearless. You just become someone who moves while afraid. It completely shifts how we view bravery, I think.
It really does.
Because bravery isn't the absence of fear. It is a 5-second decision to move in spite of it.
That is beautifully said. It changes your whole perception of what you are capable of doing. When people realize they can move while afraid, the entire world opens up.
They stop waiting for a hero.
Yes, they stop waiting for a hero and they start trusting their own feet.
So if our choice-making capacity is so easily hijacked by fear and by being tired, how do we set up our days so we don't have to constantly fight this heavy hesitation?
That is the next logical step.
Because if we have to use this countdown 100 times a day for every little thing, we are going to burn out. Willpower is a draining battery. We need to clear the path.
We do.
Let's talk about the phone in bed because, well, everyone does it.
It is so calming.
The alarm goes off, and before your eyes are fully open, you are looking at messages. Why does this single action drain our choice-making battery so fast?
That brings us to how we shape our daily world to protect our mindset. When you grab your phone first thing in the morning, you are training the mind to seek easy rewards.
Okay, the quick dopamine hit.
Right. But more importantly, you are forcing your brain to process hundreds of tiny choices and emotional hits before you have even decided how you want your day to feel.
Oh, wow.
Your mind is reacting to the world instead of acting upon it. You are flooding your brain with the needs and thoughts of other people before your own choice-making power has even warmed up for the day.
You are letting the outside world close the blast door on your own intentions.
Yes. You are playing defense before you even put your feet on the floor.
It is like handing over the keys to your mindset to, I don't know, 100 random strangers on the internet.
Exactly that.
You are letting comparison culture dictate how you feel about yourself before you even brush your teeth.
Yes. And it makes that 5-second window much harder to use later in the day because you have already trained your mind to surrender.
To give up control.
Right.
Yeah.
Small daily choices matter deeply. Having a glass of water first thing in the morning provides a tiny signal to your mind that you follow through on your plans.
Small wins.
Even something as simple as laying out your walking clothes the night before removes friction exactly where that tiny window of action is most fragile. You want to clear the path so the mind has fewer chances to say no.
Let me push back on that, though, because I know the all or nothing perception ruins this for a lot of people.
It is a massive block.
Like, if I tell myself to use the countdown just to put on my shoes or to work on a heavy task for only 2 minutes,
Right.
my mind steps in and says, well, that doesn't really count as a real success.
Of course it does.
Just putting on shoes isn't a workout. Rating one sentence isn't finishing the report. So why bother even starting? How do we fight that deep perfectionism?
Waiting for perfect conditions is often just pure fear dressed up as hard work.
Oh, wow. Pure fear.
We think we're being careful, but we are just hiding. We must completely change how we measure a win.
How so?
We have to stop tracking the grand outcomes and start tracking the tiny steps. If you count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you move, that is the total victory.
Just the movement itself.
Yes. The scale of the movement does not matter. The fact that you moved at all is what rewires the mind. It proves to the brain that you are a person who takes action.
So it doesn't matter if the run was slow or if the email was clumsy.
Not at all.
The victory is that you broke the loop. You beat the 5-second window.
Exactly. When you redefine success down to that single moment of movement, you break the heavy chain of needing to be perfect.
You just let it go.
You stop judging the result, and you start trusting yourself to take action. Over time, that tiny self-trust builds into massive life changes. You no longer see tasks as giant mountains. You just see the next 5 seconds.
It is genuinely freeing to realize that the dread before a hard task never fully goes away.
It never completely leaves.
We waste so much of our lives wishing the dread would leave us alone, hoping we will just wake up one day and feel perfectly motivated. But we simply learn to move through it.
Yes.
You carry the fear with you, but you take the step anyway. And I want to leave you with one final thought before we wrap up this deep dive.
Please share.
What would your life actually look like 5 or 10 years from now if you simply won half of those 5-second daily battles starting today? Think about the compounding power of just acting on your own best intentions. The distance between who you are and who you want to be is just 5 seconds long.
And that is the quiet truth of real change. Growth is not a final destination you arrive at one day. It is a direction you choose every single day. By noticing those 5 brief seconds between a fresh impulse and a tired excuse, you can begin to use them on purpose instead of losing them by default. You slowly change your whole relationship with fear. These thoughts, these questions, they don't have to stop here. Geeks Mindset has many more podcasts and videos just like this one. Subscribe to the channel and explore other episodes. They all flow the same thoughtful way. If this podcast felt genuinely useful to you, share it with even one person in your life. That one share can bring a real change in someone's life. And it helps Geeks Mindset reach more people who truly need this. If this brought you real value, look for the join button right next to the Geeks Mindset logo below this video. Click it and become a member of the Mindset Support Circle. Your support helps honest mindset awareness reach thousands who are silently struggling. Geeks Mindset moves forward because of you. Thank you so much from the heart for being here.